Science has gained both the Anomaly Locator and the C.H.I.M.P cannon, as well as the ammo for the C.H.I.M.P cannon. What these are both just tools that aid in dealing with anomalies and finding them. The Anomaly Locator is pretty self-explanatory. It is printed at a proto-lathe, and it requires anomaly technology, which requires scientific technology, which requires basic research technology. So by default, you could print the power cells for them, which science is capable of doing, or you just got to find one. For example, it's just a high capacity cell. You just slap it in there and put it in your hand, press Z. Now it is on, and it makes a beeping sound. And it starts to beep more rapidly as you get closer to the anomaly. If you run away from it, it doesn't beep at all until you get within a certain tile radius. It'll let you locate the anomaly. To aid as well in dealing with anomalies, rather than having to bring the ape around, you can print a chimp and print a bunch of cartridges to go with it. So the cost for a chimp hand cannon is 500 steel, 400 plastic, and the cost for each cartridge is simply 25 plastic. So it is really not all that expensive to have a mobile ape with you at all times. So what you have to do, just like normal, you run up to the anomaly, scan it, and it just treat it like an ape. So if you want to get rid of it, you need to use epsilon particles. So if I take my chimp and put in the 3 epsilon particle cartridges into it, you just treat it like a normal gun, and it shoots rather quick, or it definitely shoots much quicker than an ape. Also with this update, apes and chimps can shoot through glass. So if you end up getting an anomaly that's in a really unfortunate spot, like just outside in space, like on a tile like this, which with the chimp you could shoot it, or if it ends up in the gas miners, which for some reason is a common occurrence, you could deal with it through the glass. Also in Science Land, the Ripley was made significantly cheaper overall, and the Ripley has received a few stat tweaks. And what has changed with the Ripley is it is now significantly faster, but at the cost of doing less damage and isn't quite as tanky. However, the speed allows it to do more of its intended purpose of being able to move cargo. Syndicate uplinks have been massively reworked. They now require an uplink code, which is linked to your PDA's ringtone. In the server message, you'll also have set your ringtone to the notes or to unlock and lock it. So to do that, you need to press E on your PDA. You need to go to your settings, go to your ringtone, and my uplink is E A D E. And if I set it, there you go. Just entering that will let you access your uplink like normal. And what they mean by remember to change it, if you leave it as this, if anyone ever kills you or takes your PDA, all they have to do as well is open up your PDA and click set, and it will allow them to open your uplink. And yes, that also means that non-syndicates can access your uplink, which wasn't possible before, so you have to be real careful about it. I would definitely not have your ringtone always set to your uplink code. Grid boxing gloves are added to the game, and as of right now, they're only blue. And the description is, blue gloves for competitive boxing feels like they're heavier than usual. And what they mean by weighted is that they do 8 units of blunt damage, and they have a stronger stamina damage component, aka they'll knock you down quicker. Only passengers or boxers can buy this, and it costs 5 TC. And the thing that's really powerful about these is, they actually just make your unarmed attack stronger. And yeah, they down you in a significantly faster rate than normal boxing gloves. Since they're not a weapon, they go on your glove slot. They're actually really powerful because if you get knocked down or stunned by security, your weapon won't fly out of your hand. So this is actually a really powerful purchase for passengers and boxers if you're playing on Origin Station. Puddles have received a lot of work over the week, and just to basically summarize them, puddles have just been made more consistent. They can be mopped up easier. They spread in a more natural pattern, and they just blend together more nicely. So like here's a puddle of blood from a gibbed body. And as you can see, water no longer just like instantly runs over other liquids on the ground. And the colors can look a little harsh, But this room actually flooded correctly, and the blood wasn't just like instantly wiped off into like this weird sprite mix. It actually conformed to the edges a lot better. Kind of hard to fully explain it, but that should get the gist of it. And as you can see, there's the evaporated stage of the water, and even that evaporates in a more natural pattern. And while we're here, the advanced mop has been fixed. It basically just regenerates water, and it actually cleans. If I don't slip, it constantly purges the bad in the mop, so you can mop in a much more efficient manner. Oh my god. But as you can see, the blood is gone, and the mop just will constantly keep refilling with water. And then the water itself will evaporate. APCs have had their UI fixed, so now they actually will show that they're 100% charged and show the proper battery power. The price of all non-bundled guns for the syndicates have been cut in half, so the surplus is 1 TC, Viper 3, Python 4, and Cobra is 4 now. A hot potato is added to the game, and only the Clown, Mime, Botanist, and Chef can purchase it for 4 TC. And the way it works is, if it's not activated, you can pick it up and drop it no problem, but once you pick it up and proceed to activate it, it starts a timer, and you have to click on someone with harm on to get rid of it. If you click on them without harm on, well, it's not going to do anything. And you can't drop it, you can't throw it. The only thing you can do with it is hit somebody with it and run away. And it has a 3-minute timer, so it will last a pretty long time, but it does give people a chance to figure out what to do with it. And if they're wearing any sort of like bomb resistance, it really won't do all that much damage, but to somebody who isn't wearing it, it does 120 damage, so with no protection, it will guarantee crit someone. So basically, with how much time there is, somebody can practically go find a bomb suit or ask for a bomb suit and just deal with it. So use at your own discretion. When all is said and done, the explosion has a pretty small radius and doesn't do actually any structural damage, well, one of the tiles. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All the first aid kits have had their inventories reshuffled. They originally, a week or two ago, got more stuff in general, but now every one of them is actually filled to the brim with things relative to them. So the burn treatment has a ton of Kelotane pills, radiation has a ton of Hyro pills, and you get the picture if I just go through them really quickly. Health analyzers actually use battery now, as well as station maps and handheld crew monitors. So if I examine myself with the health analyzer, and there's no way of knowing what your battery level is actually at, unless you actually take the battery out by alt-clicking it, and one charge used about 6%, and just to be consistent, 2 charges, yes, uses about 5 to 6%. So you're going to actually have to be asking science to either make you higher capacity batteries, even engineering will have a few extra, and charging stations will become a bit more relevant, especially like this one on Moose, which has a charging station in the lobby. So try not to spam click your health analyzers anymore. This, however, does not apply to things like the medical PDA, where they just don't have a battery component. So even with everything pulled out, if you alt click the PDA, no battery comes out. Forensic gloves are added to the game. They do not leave fibers or fingerprints. If you work without them, you're a terrible detective. So detective will be able to get them on round start. And if you put them on and touch a door and close it, for example, and scan it, as you can see, the item works as intended and no fibers or DNA is left behind. So it's just for detectives to be a little bit more thorough with their work. Samurai armor was added to the Autodrobe's contraband list, so if you emag the Autodrobe, which is completely silent by the way, you'll be able to get the Samurai Dogi. I think I'm saying that correctly. And basically, it is just a outerwear that has 10 units of storage. It looks pretty nifty, and it does some minor damage reduction, nothing too crazy, but just another thing you might be able to get usage out of with your emag. Minibombs are buffed and now follow the description more closely. Description of a minibomb is a precision sabotage explosive for quickly destroying a machine, dead body, or whatever else needs to go. Well, it actually does more than that now, but it actually does give people, and I'll just show you. If I place the bomb under a naked man that doesn't have any damage reductions, a mini bomb from full health would do this. They are gibbed and all over the entire room. So yeah, mini bombing someone, definitely a lot more scary now. I don't think people are gonna just be picking them up and trying to throw them back at you. Medical items now auto-use upon being used, so they will just keep automatically being used until they can't heal that damage type anymore. And Gauze, for example, now also has a message saying you have stopped your bleeding, and if you examine yourself, yeah, I'm not bleeding anymore. And I guess Gauze is actually the exception, but I guess it stops on bleeding anyway. But if you see with the bruise packs where I got stabbed and punched a little bit, the bruise pack will automatically keep using, and I'm not pressing Z anymore, and I will just let it keep going until I'm full health, just to give you an example of how it actually works. There you have it. You have finished healing with the bruise pack. So now, obviously I'm missing blood and need to get a different type of medicine, but these two ain't gonna help me. And that is all the things I'm going to cover for this week. There's a lot of back-end stuff done, which I will just scroll through the changelog to show you. I need to thank all of our maintainers and contributors for keeping the game up to date and running, and just all this new content and awesome bug fixes. A lot of work has been done in salvage expeditions, and I elected to not include them in this changelog because I'm just going to end up covering it when they're actually in the game, and as of right now, they're admin only, so I figure there's no point in getting people excited, kind of like what I did with the Space Ninja. I shouldn't have covered it at the time because people were definitely disappointed when it was removed, and I failed to mention that it was a test. So, just for now, I'm not going to mention test merges yet. But yeah, there was a lot this week, a lot of bug fixes, a lot of new things like masks and stuff that are added, just some clothes, but I can't cover literally everything. And you'll discover all the little minor things yourself anyways. Again, I want you to thank our maintainers and contributors, and that is it for now.